So before I forget, I know how much you love the band, and you should mark your calendars for March 29th. It's a Saturday night. More information will be forthcoming. They're going to do a giant concert, and you will want to be there.
Oh yeah.
We've gotten a bigger venue because the last time we were here, we had 175 people in this space, and it was pretty crowded. And we thought we might want to invite even a few more people. So they're going to do a lot of the music you hear here, and probably some stuff we've never heard before. And we will let the drummer loose, we promise. We'll let him go. He had real drums, and it just got to be overwhelming in this sound. So now we do digital drums, but we'll give him real drums and real drumsticks and let him rip. You will want to be there, I promise you. So more information will be coming, but mark your calendars now for March 29th. Okay, back to today's topic. Many of you have a holiday tomorrow because it's Martin Luther King's birthday. And of course, it's really a day set aside to acknowledge this short life of somebody who pointed out something that should have been obvious to all of us, right? That some people were not being treated the same way that other people were being treated. And he pointed out in sort of that gadfly way that society needs regularly that we were willfully blind to that truth. And his birthday, of course, was last week, but tomorrow is the day that's been set aside to take a moment to honor him. I found out just this week that the holiday was first proclaimed in 1986, but it wasn't until 2000 that the last 3 states, Arizona, New Hampshire, and Utah, my home state, they didn't acknowledge it until 2000. And I was remembering some of my employers saying, that's not a holiday, we don't take that day off. And thinking, wait a minute, you take off a day for some guy who accidentally bumped into the continent while he was looking for India, but you don't take the day off to honor someone who brought this gross inequity to our attention, who sort of made us look at ourselves differently and who made us think differently. He was a visionary. He truly was. He was a visionary who dreamed of a world where everyone was born with the same rights and the same opportunities. Where everyone, some of the words of his great speech, he dreamed of a world where the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners could sit down in brotherhood, and where people were judged by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin. He dared to dream a big dream. And his big dream is still not fulfilled because we still see bigotry and sexism and racism and hatred and war and poverty and judgment and lack of forgiveness and resentment and all those kinds of things. There is a whole lot of work left to do, and each one of us does that work inside ourselves. And the work that we do changes the world, the country and the world. But his speech remains, the words were so luminous that it sort of lit history up, and it still lights us up. His I Have a Dream speech is such a powerful thing. He had this giant, audacious dream, and in 1,600 words, in August of 1963, he described this dream, this big, audacious dream that he had, and what he was dreaming about was that every person in this country would radically change the way they thought, would radically shift the way they saw life and the world. He dreamed of a transformation in the way we view each other, in a turning away from the view that perhaps we'd been raised up with, or that was the majority view of our society, that some other person was to be hated and feared and oppressed, and a turning toward a view based on unity, that we are all, every single one of us, created in the image and likeness of Spirit. He said some really interesting things in speeches around that date, because what he was really talking about was shaking up the foundation of our thinking. And he shook the foundation a lot. He did. He shook it over and over again and reminded us that in order to achieve a society based in love rather than fear and prejudice, we had to really seriously grapple with our own thinking. We had to dream big enough to find an answer to this problem and stop settling, as he put it, for easy answers and half-baked solutions. And of course, he reminded us over and over that of what we really deep down know, and that is that love is the answer, not darkness, not hatred. He said darkness cannot drive out darkness, only love can do that. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. He kept reminding us over and over that civilization and violence don't go together. His Nobel Peace Prize speech in 1964, he said, "This prize is given in profound recognition that nonviolence is the answer to the crucial political and moral question of our time, the need for humans to overcome oppression and violence without resorting to oppression and violence." It's still a very difficult question that we grapple with. And we spent the last quarter of 2013 talking about ways to really move into this way of thinking as a way of living in practicing loving kindness in everything that we do. We talked a lot about how to learn to live our lives from that place, and about how we have to continually practice with the little things so that when we meet up with the big things, we still come from loving kindness. We don't revert. And what I want to talk about today is Dr. King's dreaming. He dreamed big. And even though he died without seeing his dream come to fruition, I think he had a lot to teach us about how to dream big, and how to dream bigger yet, and even bigger yet. Because it takes big dreams to change society. It takes big dreams to bring peace and fairness and loving kindness into the world. It takes big dreams to come up with the vision statement that our parent organization, Centers for Spiritual Living, it takes big dreams to come up with the statement that is their vision statement, which is, we see a world that works for everyone. We see a world where everyone has enough, where everyone has a say, where forgiveness is the norm, where art and nature and beauty are cared for and nurtured. It's a big dream. It's a big dream, and each one of us is involved in bringing it into form. And it also takes big dreams for us to radically shift our lives, I think. It takes big dreams to shake us out of our rut. You know, it's very easy to get into a rut with life and settle and forget what it is that our heart tells us. It takes big dreams to make us uncomfortable enough to shift the way we think about life, the way we look at life, the way we talk about life, and therefore the way we experience life. And most of us don't dream very big. We really don't. Most of us we don't dare to have big dreams, because if we're audacious enough to dream big, well, you know what they all said. Don't rock the boat. Don't stand out too much. Don't make a scene. All that kind of stuff. Cows aren't purple. Unicorns aren't real. Go back to reality. Put your nose to the grindstone and don't dream too big. That's all the stuff we heard. And it's not true. None of it's true. The other thing is that most of us don't dream long enough. We don't stick with the dream long enough to see it become reality, because unicorns aren't real, and cows aren't purple, and you might be making a spectacle of yourself, and get a job that provides a steady income, not do what makes your heart sing. You know, all those things we heard. And so instead of dreaming big, and instead of dreaming even bigger than that, and allowing our dreams to create the container of our lives, we've looked at circumstances and said, this is how big the container is. I'll live in that. The problem with doing it that way is that the container never gets any bigger. You define it by what's here now, it's going to stay the same size. It's never going to get any bigger. We have been taught to let circumstances that are present here right now create the container. Out of our present facts and circumstances, we create a little tiny container, and that's how we keep ourselves small. That's how we fulfill the prediction we heard from our parents or our teachers or our preachers. Don't dream too big because we don't want you to be disappointed. I cannot think of a bigger disappointment than taking my last breath and realizing I never let myself even try to fulfill my dreams because I never let myself dream them. You know what I mean? That to me is real disappointment. Just never even letting yourself dream because you don't want to make a scene, don't want to rock the boat, don't want to be disappointed. The real disappointment is never letting yourself dream those dreams, let alone have them become real. It's time. It's time. It's time for all of us to dream big. It's time for all of us to stop being small and stop letting our circumstances right here and now dictate the container we live in. It's time for some great, big, hairy, audacious dreaming to happen. Because that's the way anything changes. That's the way politics will change. That's the way justice will change. That's the way people will find joy, is by dreaming great, big, audacious dreams and unleashing our imaginations in service of our hearts and souls, not keeping our dreams in a little tiny container, but allowing our dreams to create the container. And it will be filled. It always gets filled, right? It always gets filled. It's time to let our dreams lead us to where we need to go. And the first step, I think, is simply to realize that we're capable of dreaming. What an amazing thing. What an amazing thing. We've been given this incredible imagination that can dream and vision and imagine what it is to be born in the image and likeness of our Creator. And the gift that we were given in that birth is the ability to dream, the ability to imagine, the ability to use our life energy in great big audacious ways. And I have a great big audacious dream about this community. And our reading today says that, you have a new revelation and then it takes courage to speak it in the face of what is. So here goes. I have this great big dream about our community. I have a dream that we grow in numbers, yes, but more even in spiritual power and awareness, so that we raise up the consciousness of this whole valley, so that we raise up everyone's consciousness. I have a great dream that there are 500 of us here on a Sunday morning, and 50 or 60 or 100 kids, everyone learning that they are wonderful, that they have gifts to give to the world, that they are powerful and intelligent, and when they act from that part of themselves that is love, they do good work in the world. I have a dream that nobody in this community ever feels ignored or unloved or unconnected, that every one of us has a group of people we can call when we need a shoulder to cry on, when we have something to celebrate, when we just want to reach out to somebody, and that every one of those calls is received with utmost love and acceptance and kindness. I dream that together we grow more loving. I dream that the love that we have here carries out into our day-to-day activities in the world, so that other people see it and feel it and are changed by it. I have a dream that this community is known for its good works. They're not works of charity, they are works of transformation in the larger community. I have a dream that our physical home is a place of beauty and spaciousness and light and plenty of parking. That our kids' space is irresistible to our kids, that they love being there, that they're fun and attractive, and that our library is a place where people come to learn more about everything. I dream that our name, Centers for Spiritual Living Greater Dayton, is one that's known to thousands of people in this valley, not just a few, and that we're known as the church of the really nice people, the really spiritually grounded people, the really joyful and loving people, the people who want to lift everyone else up. That's my big, hairy, audacious dream. It's audacious. And it's a dream that requires me to be more than I am. And it requires each one of us to become more than we are. And Mary Mann Morrissey said that if you have a dream and you already know how to get from here to there, it's too small. That if your dream does not require the help of a higher power and does not have some places that you say, I don't know what to do, it's too small. My dream is not too small. It's a big, hairy, audacious dream. I have no idea what I will have to become. I have no idea what we will have to become and what we will have to find together the courage to do. All I know is that if my dream is in front of me, I will know the next step to take. And then it will show me the step after that. And I know that it will happen. I don't know how. I don't know how we go from 100 to 500. I don't know how we become intimates with one another. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how we get rid of all of the rest of our fear and step boldly into faith. I just know that we will. I know that we will, and I know because I have faith. I have faith in this creative energy that we talk about every single week, this universal intelligence that somehow managed to create everything and keep it going perfectly. We haven't fallen into the sun and burned up, or fallen away from the sun and frozen to death in, 15 billion years? So far, so good, right? Uh-huh. I have faith that this power and presence that created us and continues to live in and through us, each one of us, continues to let this vision expand and shows each one of us the way. Martin Luther King said, faith is taking the first step even when you can't see the whole staircase. And that's how we have to do it. We take the first step. So I just took my first step by telling you this bold, audacious, hairy vision I have for us. And the next one is being willing to invite every single day of my life a new revelation. Being open to say to Spirit, whatever it is, I'll step out, whatever it is. I take the step after that by continuing to do what increases my faith. Our reading today says that when you dare to take action for a greater way, you will find all sorts of heavenly support showing up beyond your dream to make it possible. That which gave you the dream will give you what it takes to make it so. So I take an action and I start to keep watch for the heavenly support. And when I see it, my faith increases. Take the next step, look out for the heavenly support. I see it and my faith increases. That's how we do life, isn't it? Isn't that how we do life? What great, big, hairy, audacious dream do you have for yourself that you're not willing or ready, maybe even to tell somebody about, but that's there? What dream do you want to dream? What greater way is trying to come through you? What new revelation is waiting for you to invite it into your life and into your heart? All I can say is dare to dream it. Dare to put your faith behind it. Dare to take that first step. Dare to invite the revelation that will shift you from where you are into the next place you need to be. It's just like one step at a time, and sometimes it's one little tiny step at a time. And sometimes it's a great stride, but it's moving, because the dream, when you dream it and hold it out in front of yourself, pulls you along with it. You don't have to push it. It pulls you. It pulls you. I think if we take action for a greater way, dare to hold on to our dream, and every time a voice in our head says, you're rocking the boat, or how's that going to work, we say, get thee behind me, and keep holding the dream in front of us and keep being pulled by the dream beyond today's circumstances. Stop looking at the container as being created by where you are now, and allow the container of your life to be created by your dream. Keep it out in front of you and dare to allow your life to expand to fill it. This is the way we create tomorrow, the tomorrow we want to see. This is the way we create our dreams. We dream it and we let the dream pull us along. We take the next step towards the new way, the greater way. We look around for the heavenly support, and we let it increase our faith when we find it. And pretty soon, we start to see the edges of our dream becoming solid in our lives. And pretty soon the edges fill in, and pretty soon we start to see more and more evidence that the dream has become reality. So my invitation to you today is simply to dream, and dream big, and then dream bigger. Be bold in your dreaming. Dream great, big, hairy, audacious dreams, and let them become great, big, hairy, audacious realities in your life and in our world. Because that's the way we create that world that works for everyone. One little dream at a time. And so I invite you right now to just join me in prayer together as we acknowledge deep within ourselves the power and presence that gives us life. And I acknowledge that that power and presence is everywhere and in every moment. There's no place God is not. It is all that exists, having created everything that is from nothing, and having spread itself throughout its creation. Everywhere I look, I see God. Even in the things, the spaces that seem empty, this energy is there. This energy of love and light and expansion and growth and evolution is there. And it, when I relax into it, pulls me into my next greater yet to be. I know it is the truth of my being. I know it is the truth of each person here. That each one of us is a manifestation and embodiment of that creative energy called God. And I know that each one of us can dream from that place and does so now, allowing the dream to expand, to become more finely detailed in consciousness. And that each one of us has all the courage necessary and all the wisdom necessary to take the step towards a greater way, to look around and see all the support that Providence lines up for us, and to continue to move in the direction of his or her dream, in the direction of our dream, because each one of us realizes like never before that right where we are, God is. Right where we are is all the power and all the love and all the wisdom and all the creativity. All of it. And so we dream together bigger and bigger and bigger. And our lives become those great dreams. And together we shine a light so bright that it becomes irresistible. And it changes our lives and the lives of all those we touch. Because I know this is just the truth of this community and each person here. I say thank you. I give thanks for my life, for this community, for our time together this morning, for all the dreams that pull me forward. And from this place of gratitude, I release these words into that infinite law of the universe, knowing they are already so. And together we say, and so it is. How could anyone ever notice that you do anything less than beautiful? How could anyone fail to notice you are less than whole? How could anyone ever tell you you are loving is a miracle? just let yourself feel that connection. We are all connected at the soul. And we now have an opportunity to work with that law of circulation and at the same time to express our gratitude for this spiritual community. And I want to express my gratitude to each one of you, because without your gifts and contributions, we don't get to do this on Sundays. And so we are here to do what we do solely because of your gifts, and I'm deeply grateful for that. And I invite you for a moment to just become conscious of your giving in the world, all the giving that you do, everything that you do each day in order to be a place of increase in the world, a smile, your time, all that you give. And thinking specifically now of your gift to this center. Just allow yourself to fill with gratitude that you are a place of increase in the world. And please repeat after me. Gratefully, I give with an attitude of abundance.
Gratefully, I give with an attitude of abundance.
I know that as I give, so do I receive.
I know that as I give, so do I receive.
Abundantly.
Abundantly.
And so it is.
And so it is.